तो मुझे कहा राकेश जी आपके तो बाल हैं नहीं, आपके बेटे के भी बाल उड़ जाएंगे, फिर वो क्या करेगा? मैंने आपके सर पे बाल है, आपने क्या किया है?
So when he got hit by the basketball, he didn't get scared. He didn't get frazzled by it. He said, "No, I'll do again. मैं करूँगा. आजा. He wanted to do it.
But Hrithik, are you superstitious about carrying the good luck of one film to the other film? And Rakesh ji, you also.
Yeah, I'm carrying my head every
It has been 20 years of Jadoo. Will Jadoo be back?
If he has got two thumbs that look like mine, I will look at that. He will look at mine, and we look at each other and say,
But sir, if you were to make Koi Mil Gaya today, how differently would you approach the subject?
Today it will be very easy
Because
I know what I made.
I used the help of Mr. Anil Kapoor to convince Dad. जब वो उस मुकाम पे जब हम पहुंचे थे, जब
20 साल कैसे गुजर गए पता नहीं चलता. Time just flies.
it was a victory that I think only my dad and I can truly understand.
Rakesh Roshan and Hrithik Roshan, guys, come on! And guys, I would also like to invite Mr. Komal Nahta on stage. Over to you, sir, if you want to say a few words.
What do I say? I don't think people have gathered here to listen to me. It's Hrithik Roshan they've gathered here to see and to hear. And Rakesh ji to understand how he made this masterpiece. So I won't come in the way of Hrithik, Rakesh ji and you all.
Thank you for being here.
Before we start the conversation, I just wanted to inform you guys that we have people who have come here from across the country for this specific event. So let's hear it up for the wonderful people out here. And the dignitaries from PVR and Inox.
Welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
My first question, 20 years and we can see the responses here, the magic. Like Koi Mil Gaya is a cult. We remember the film for each and everything from the music, dialogues, and the film has gone so wide in the meme community as well. People speak about Rohit, Jadoo and everything. How does it feel to the two of you seeing the film achieve this sort of status in today's time?
First of all, good afternoon, everybody. In my span of 50 years, this is the first interaction I'm doing.
Is it?
I'm not.
It's
Because nowadays there has to be only media.
He never got time from making blockbusters.
No.
So this is the first time.
So this is the first time, so please excuse me if I'm a little nervous or if I fumble.
so sir, how does it feel 20 years of Koi Mil Gaya?
मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि कल की बात है. 20 साल कैसे गुजर गए पता नहीं चलता. Time just flies. How the idea came, how I spoke to Hrithik on the phone when he was shooting in Delhi. फिर सुभाष गई इस फिल्म. सुबह 8 बजे मैंने फ़ोन किया कि ऋतिक मुझे एक ऐसे एक आइडिया आया है कि एक मेंटली चैलेंज बॉय है और उसको सब छेड़ते हैं पिक्चर में, उसके दोस्त हैं छोटे छोटे और एक एलियन आता है और वो कैसे उससे बचाता है. ही इमीडिएटली सेड यस. मैंने पूरे सुन तो लो, बोलता नहीं मैं समझ गया हूँ. या मेकिंग फ्रॉम हीरो टू ज़ीरो, फ्रॉम ज़ीरो टू हीरो. So that was the beginning.
And Hrithik sir, you were shooting for in Delhi. So
I don't remember exactly. वो दिन मुझे याद नहीं है. लेकिन जैसे पापा कह रहे हैं, एक DNA मैच was instant. जब मैंने कहानी सुनी, आइडिया जो था, I could recognize कि जो पापा बोल रहे हैं वो कोई साधारण आइडिया नहीं है. दिस इज़ नॉट समथिंग दैट इज़ अ कॉमन थॉट. ये कोई नहीं सोच रहा था वो टाइम पे. ऐसा कोई नहीं सोच रहा था. और इससे पहले कि किसी और को पापा बताते और वो इंसान पापा को बोलता कि क्या सोच रहे हैं आप राकेश जी, ऐसा थोड़ी बन सकती है, हुल एलियन वेलियन क्या बात कर रहे हो आप, अपनी इंडस्ट्री में नहीं हो सकता। इससे पहले कि कोई और ऐसा बोल दे उनको और उन्हें डिसहार्टन कर दे, मैंने जंप कर दिया, मतलब पापा लेट्स डू दिस, वी मस्ट डू दिस, आई एम ऑन, लेट्स जस्ट डू दिस, बिकॉज इट वॉज अ वेरी एलियन कॉन्सेप्ट। हमारी फिल्म्स में जो ड्रामा जो बन रही थी, जो हिट जो हो रही थी, दे वर लव स्टोरीज, दे वर फैमिली ड्रामाज, वी वर स्टिल यू नो इन सोसाइटी, इन द फोर वॉल्स, इन द हाउस। उस टाइप की एक्शन स्टोरीज ऑल्सो वर अबाउट यू नो ब्रदर्स, मदर, हस्बैंड, वाइफ, उसके इर्द गिर्द बनती थी पिक्चर, गर्लफ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड। अब तुम बोल रहे हो कि इस पिक्चर में जो हीरो है वो मेंटली चैलेंज्ड है।
हेलो,
एक तो वो, और दूसरा एलियन आता है। मतलब हु वुड थिंक लाइक दैट? ओनली फॉर दैट रीजन के पापा इज थिंकिंग ऑफ समथिंग दैट नोबडी एल्स विल थिंक ऑफ। वी हैव टू डू दिस। कैसे होगा, कैसे बनेगी, ये सारे क्वेश्चंस अब तक पापा के दिमाग में आई नहीं थी। और ऐसा मुकाम भी आया when papa said to me, Dugu, let's not make it. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
But there was a juncture where papa said, ऐसी पिक्चरें ना चलती नहीं है. I don't think, that is why nobody makes them.
बट सही थे राकेश जी, सही थे। ऐसी पिक्चरें चलती नहीं है, ऐसी पिक्चरें उड़ती है। They didn't know that. They didn't know that.
ये तो बाद में उड़ी है पिक्चर, बाद पिक्चर बनाते वक्त क्या क्या गुजरी है हम पर, वो हम ही जानते हैं।
बट राकेश जी, आई विल इंटरप्ट यू हियर। फिल्म जब बन रही थी उस दौरान भी मुझे याद है काफ़ी स्नाइड रिमार्क्स पास हुए थे ट्रेड में, अरे बच्चों के लिए फिल्म बना रहे हैं, बच्चों को टारगेट ऑडियंस पकड़
नहीं, वो तो
के।
बात की बात बोल ये रहे थे सब ज़्यादा करके कि ऋतिक रोशन को कहो ना प्यार में ऐसे इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, अभी इसको मेंटली चैलेंज बना रहे हैं। सबसे बड़ा उनको एलियन का प्रॉब्लम नहीं था।
हाँ,
उनका प्रॉब्लम ये था कि ऋतिक के साथ ऐसी पिक्चर
मुझे
बना।
याद है, मुझे याद है। सब बोल रहे थे कि ऋतिक इज एन एक्शन हीरो और उसकी 3 फिल्में लगातार फ्लॉप हुई हैं। नाउ यू वांट टू मेक हिम अ मेंटली चैलेंज्ड गाय, मतलब इट विल बी ओवर, हिज लाइफ विल बी ओवर, दैट विल बी द लास्ट नेल इन द कॉफिन ऑफ हिज प्रोफेशनल लाइफ।
मगर उससे आप डरे या नहीं डरे?
नहीं, मैं डरा नहीं, क्योंकि मैं जब भी ऋतिक को देखता था शूटिंग करते वक्त तो मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि नहीं, ये पिक्चर ज़रूर कामयाब होगी, बिकॉज द वे ही वॉज पोर्ट्रेइंग दैट रोल। अगर मुझे वहाँ 19-20 लगता तो मैं पिक्चर बंद कर देता। बट द वेरी फर्स्ट डे, द वेरी फर्स्ट शॉट व्हेन ऋतिक गेव, आई गॉट द इनर फीलिंग कि वी आर मेकिंग अ वेरी सक्सेसफुल फिल्म।
But so, since you were talking about, how so many people were wondering that what kind of film you're making, do you remember the Friday of release when पहला show हुआ and you might have got a call, picture hit है?
नहीं, क्या हुआ था कि कोई मिल गया के पहले ऋतिक की 7-8 पिक्चरें रिलीज़ हुई, आप तक कहो ना प्यार है, एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली कोई सक्सेसफुल नहीं हुई। तो मैं बहुत घबराया हुआ था कि एक तो कोई मिल गया है, ऊपर से ऋतिक का कैरेक्टर ऐसा है। तो मुझे पहला फ़ोन आया सुबह 9 बजे। अच्छा, मैंने डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स को कहा था, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स की आदत है कि वो मेरी पिक्चर सुबह 2 बजे लगा दे, कभी सुबह 6 बजे लगा दे।
I'll just inform them, उस समय ऐसे नहीं होता था जैसे एक कॉर्पोरेट ने खरीद लिए डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन राइट्स। उस समय हर टेरिटरी का अलग डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर होता था। सो देयर टू बी वन डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर फॉर बॉम्बे सर्किट, ही वाज अनकनेक्टेड विद द डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर फॉर दिल्ली यूपी, द थर्ड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर फॉर ईस्ट पंजाब, देन सीपी सीआई राजस्थान। सो दे वर अनरिलेटेड, अनकनेक्टेड। हर टेरिटरी का डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर अपनी टेरिटरी के बारे में सोचता था।
तो करण अर्जुन उन्होंने लगाई सुबह 2 बजे, मुझे उठा दिया कि हाउसफुल है। मैं बोला, खुशी हुई थोड़ी। फिर कहो ना प्यार है तो मैंने देखो, मैंने इस पिक्चर को 12 बजे के शो में लगाना, नया लड़का है, नया लड़की है, तो डोंट टेक अ चांस, डोंट डू ऑल दिस थिंग। और मैंने उन लोग से एग्रीमेंट में लिखवा लिया। फिर सुबह 9 बजे मुझे फ़ोन आ गया, नहीं सुबह 6 बजे कि हमने लगा दी और पिक्चर हाउसफुल है। ये सीपी बिरार, सीआई, ये जो टेरिटरी होते थे वहाँ ये पिक्चर ऐसे लग जाती थी, राजस्थान। अब कोई मिल गया के वक्त ऋतिक की पहले पिक्चरें चली नहीं, तो उनको मैंने बाकायदा सब डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स का ऑफिस में बुलाया। पहले तो उनको मैंने पिक्चर दिखाई, मैंने आप लोग पहले पिक्चर देख लीजिए ताकि आप लोग निश्चिंत होकर पिक्चर रिलीज़ कर सके, और जिसको अगर नहीं पसंद है तो वो छोड़ दे पिक्चर को। पर सबको पिक्चर पसंद आई और मैंने उनसे राइटिंग में लिखवाया, इस वक्त अग्रीमेंट बनवाया कि आप 12 बजे से पहले रिलीज़ नहीं करेंगे पिक्चर को। फिर सुबह 9 बजे मुझे फ़ोन आ गया, आप राकेश जी ऐसे ही घबराते रहते, 9 बजे का शो फुल है। अब ये मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि जो पहली पिक्चरें थी, बड़ी बड़ी बैनर्स की पिक्चरें थी, वो चली नहीं, और इस पिक्चर को सुबह 9 बजे का शो हाउसफुल कैसा लग गया। तो देयर इज सम मैजिक इन द फिल्म, सम मैजिक इन द पोस्टर, समथिंग वाज देयर इन द ट्रेलर which brought the audience inside.
I also think, Papa, I think it's the magic that it's the relationship between the screen and the audience. Sometimes, not sometimes, actually, every time, they can sense it. अभी वो क्या sense है किसी को नहीं मालूम, but I think mostly people can sense it.
Yes.
और वो सेंस अगर फिल्म वाले सीख ले तो सारी फिल्में ब्लॉकबस्टर बन जाए. Nobody understands what happens,
हाँ, what
but there
happens.
is some connect between that trailer and the audience. You all must have experienced it. एक ट्रेलर देख के you all mentally make up your minds, ये पिक्चर देखनी है. You know, that connect was 100% in the case of Koi Mil Gaya.
Because the very first trailer what we released was a teaser. The Hrithik is sitting on a hill, on a small stone. And
Like a rock.
Like a rock.
With a matka in my hand.
And the camera is going up, and a spaceship enters. That was the just teaser. And how many calls we got? So what have you all made? We have never seen a teaser this way. You're not shown anything, but you're told us so many things. So sometimes things happen on its own.
People can smell an honest film. Maybe that's.
Maybe.
Yeah. But Hrithik sir, like Rakesh ji spoke, 9 a.m. call आया that picture houseful है. How did you react when probably he told you that our first show is houseful and खत्म होने के बाद people are loving it?
So मुझे याद है कहो ना प्यारे के टाइम पे I was at Gaiety Galaxy and 9 o'clock show, और शो के इंटरवल में पापा called me up. This is for कहो ना प्यारे.
Yeah.
And his voice was cracking on the phone, and he said, Dugu, we've done it. The film is a hit. All these places are houseful. And that's probably, I think, the only time that I can consciously remember my father's voice breaking into a kind of a cry.
Yeah, because it was a father speaking, not a director and producer.
मैं यहाँ बैठा हूँ, आप लोग नहीं देख सकते हैं, राकेश जी के आंखों में यहाँ भी आंसू आ गए हैं.
That was a victory that I think I will never be able to relive again in my life, because it had, I think, 10, 15 years of hard work that went into that first film. My father's hard work and mine. All the learnings that he had built inside him through all the films that he had done, all the successes and the failures. And for this film, having the house mortgaged and having that risk. So it was a victory that I think only my dad and I can truly understand. But yeah, that's how you make dreams come true. You persevere and you persevere and you persevere. We just keep going. So I remember that call, and then now for Koi Mil Gaya, I think for a long time I was in a little bit of disbelief, because a lot of my films had not worked, and I have very broken visuals here. I have visuals of me crossing a theater somewhere in Andheri East, I think. And people were dancing outside the theater, And I was like, couldn't understand ये क्या हो रहा है ये. And then I remember I was at a restaurant in I think it was Sun Sand. On the first day, I just gone there for like a bite. And there were people coming inside the restaurant and looking at me and saying stuff like, how did you do that? We just saw your film. How did you do that? So from everywhere, slowly it was dawning on me that I think this has worked. It was a slow, sustained release, but it was a very good feeling.
But so how did you do that? I was watching the film on Sunday, and again, this question came, how did you do that?
To be honest, academically speaking, of course, like I said, एक DNA match तो था ही. और मैंने अपने लाइफ से बहुत कुछ लिया. जब मैं स्कूल में था, तो bullying is something that I had experienced. और I had a stutter. तो एक जो vulnerability थी that the character needed, life gave me already. So I said, now it makes sense. Okay. So there was a DNA match, and this is something that I think is a great perspective lesson in our lives. कि हमारे पास जो भी चीज़ें हैं, बुरी, अच्छी, वो सब काम आ सकती हैं. They can all be used if you just keep your eyes open and wait. Everything that you have can be used, and the time will come for it. So wait. So there was a DNA match, and the script that Papa had written with the writers, and I was not involved in the scripting process in this film because I was shooting for other films in which I was behaving like a parrot and stuff, but that was also a learning experience because जब मैं इस set पे आता था तो मुझे एक centering होती थी, एक honesty थी, एक जो mask था star का actor का वो गायब हो जाता था. I was just being me, and I learned a lot from that. कि I have to find, this is me. There are many kinds of actors. There are actors who can be great mimics. They can entertain. They're entertainers. I found my calling through this film, and I said, "ये मैं हूँ. I need centering. I need a DNA match. I need me to be expressed." So I learned that from this. And as I said, जो script थी, that was it. I mean, the script was everything. I remember reading the script. Papa gave me, I think, 3 or 4, 5 days I think I had between my last schedule of a film that I was doing और जब कोई मिल गया शुरू होने वाली थी. I helter skelter. मेरी उस time पे आदत थी, I used to go to a hotel and take a room and then just live there. So I went and lived there for 3-4 days. और मैंने पापा को फ़ोन किया वहाँ से after I read the script. It's weird, but it took me some 6-7 hours to read the script क्योंकि हर 2-3 पेज के बाद मैं बैठता था, मैं रोता था. किसके लिए रोता था पता नहीं, but I felt a lot for the film. And then I called up my dad and I said, Papa, the script is mind-blowing, it's fantastic, this, that. I cried throughout the script. He said, you cried throughout the film? It was supposed to be like a joyful... So I said, no, don't go on that. That is an actor's process. But no, the film is very enjoyable. I'm not crying because it is a sad... So I remember that conversation. As I said, then it's... Once the heart was there, I know the heart is a match.
Yeah.
Matlab, art is taken care of. Yeah. Then came the craft. And for craft, I was very nervous. I thought, Papa should see what I'm doing. मेरे बाल कैसे हैं, मेरे कपड़े कैसे हैं. लेकिन अरे माइक को पास रखने से और बेटर हो जाता है. Okay. So Papa didn't see anything. Until I landed on the first day of the shoot, he had no idea how my hair is going to be, how I'm going to walk, how I'm going to talk. And it was a strange kind of faith that he had in me. And I went with that. Said if he's got that faith, then I should just follow. I should follow my instinct. Yeah. एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई डिड. आई फॉलोड माई इंस्टिंक्ट. मेरा एक प्रोसेस है फॉर एवरी कैरेक्टर कि आई स्टार्ट विद द हेयर. वंस आई गेट द हेयर राइट, then I start doing other things. So once I got the hair for Rohit, then I was set. Like, मुझे बाल मिल गए.
Thank
बाल
God.
is a sensitive topic.
Thank God I'm not an actor today.
ये बालों का किस्सा हमारी फैमिली में बरसों से.
मुझे याद है अर्ली ऑन कोई प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस था इसी तरह का. तो दिस इज ऑफकोर्स अ मास्टर क्लास. वो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस था तो सम जर्नलिस्ट जस्ट टू बी विशियस विकेड कभी कभी ऐसे आ जाता ना, चलो मैं थोड़ा 30 मार खाऊं मैं बताऊं. तो दैट प्रेस पर्सन asked राकेश जी a question. I think he's understood. He says, राकेश जी, जैसे आपके बाल चले गए, Hrithik was just beginning his career. And what a mean question to ask. So he asked राकेश जी, Hrithik के भी ऐसे बाल उड़ जाएंगे फिर क्या करेगा? तो राकेश जी said, what a brilliant answer. He said, बाल उड़ जाएंगे ना, ये नहीं उड़ सकती.
That's a good one.
राकेश जी याद है?
दिल्ली में हुआ था. तो मुझे कहा, राकेश जी आपके तो बाल है नहीं, आपके बेटे के भी बाल उड़ जाएंगे, फिर वो क्या करेगा? मैंने आपके सर पे बाल है, आपने क्या किया है? मतलब लकीरें बालों में नहीं होते, लकीरें बालों के नीचे होती हैं.
You know, I also feel just hearing them, मुझे ऐसे लगता है, you know, people say ना 1 + 1 is 2. इस केस में when Rakesh ji got Hrithik and introduced him, 1 + 1 became 11. The confidence with which Rakesh ji has been making blockbusters and the scale at which he has been mounting his films, I think that confidence comes from within के मेरे साथ मेरा बेटा है, अब sky is the limit. Nothing in the world can stop us.
And I'm very proud the way Hrithik played that character of a mentally challenged boy. मुझे तो ये पहली एक ही पिक्चर है पूरे वर्ल्ड में जो इस कैरेक्टर ने, हमेशा बहुत सी पिक्चर बनी है इस कैरेक्टर के साथ, मेंटली चैलेंज, रिटार्डेड, बट दे आर सिंगल, देयर इज़ नो अदर कंपैरिजन इन द फिल्म. यहाँ पे ऋतिक को बच्चों के साथ काम करना है एंड दे आर वेरी नेचुरल, और उनके साथ नेचुरल होना बहुत मुश्किल काम है. इट इज़ जस्ट वॉकिंग ऑन द एज ऑफ द नाइफ, यू नो. आप इधर भी गिर सकते हैं, इधर भी गिर सकते हैं. तो एवरी शॉट ऑफ फॉर मी इज़ टू बी कि कहीं ऋतिक ने ज़्यादा ओवर तो नहीं कर दिया, कहीं उसने कम तो नहीं किया, बट ही वॉज बैंग ऑन एब्सोल्युटली in every scene, in every shot.
In January 2000, a superstar was born, Hrithik Roshan. And since then, you have made so many films with him. And I think you are among the very few who has balanced the superstar Hrithik Roshan with the actor. How do you manage to strike that balance in each and every film that you have made till date with?
No, because, you know, after Kaho Mil Gaya, I was sitting on many subjects, you know, but nothing was inspiring me. Then one day we had gone to South Africa and they had a premiere of Lagaan over there. So I went to see the film and I was completely blown by that film.
Again, I'll interrupt you here. Lagaan आपने देखी थी सन सिटी में.
Sun City में.
At IFA.
IFA.
एंड फ्राइडे रात था, हमारी मैगजीन निकलती थी तो रात भर हम लोग काम करते थे. मुझे याद है फ्रॉम आईफा सन सिटी राकेश जी रैंग मी अप, दैट इज द इमोशनल डायरेक्टर. किसी और की फिल्म, आमिर खान हीरो, नॉट ऋतिक रोशन, आमिर खान इज द हीरो, somebody else has made the film. Rakesh ji rings me up at India time some 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the night and he says, Komal, I saw Lagaan, standing ovation मिला, मैं तो उठ के तालियां बजा के मैं रोने लग गया, इतनी बेहतरीन फिल्म है. That is the selflessness of Rakesh ji the maker. It's very difficult to praise somebody's film to this level कि मैं रोने लग गया, because it's such a great film. I remember your words.
Yeah. So that film changed my thinking. कि मैं ये खामखा ये हीरो के सब्जेक्ट सुन रहा हूँ, सोच रहा हूँ कहो ना प्यारे के बाद ऋतिक को कैसे प्रेजेंट करना है. मैं like, he has got a lot of talent in him. Why not make something different? And then suddenly this idea came to my mind and we started working on it. So once he said yes, then we started working on it. And you all will not believe, the script was just made in 10 days. I went to Khandala ड्यूक्स होटल में हम ठहरे थे, मैं, रॉबिन भट्ट विथ मी, रवि कपूर एंड हनी ईरानी, वी 3 people sat for 10 days and made the whole script and came. So it in one go, the flow was so good, so clean, that everybody was on the same page every day.
Yeah, sometimes when something is right, it just flows. Yeah, it was shocking. 10 days.
Komal sir, what according to you has connected with the audience that, you know, even today we are celebrating Koi Mil Gaya on all grounds?
आई थिंक जो राकेश जी हमेशा कहते हैं द अंडरडॉग्स स्टोरी, वो अंडरडॉग एंड आउटर स्पेस से सम एलियन कम्स, इन आवर साइकोलॉजी वी थिंक ये भगवान ने भेजा है. सो एक अंडरडॉग की मदद अगर भगवान करता है, उससे बेहतर स्टोरी हो ही नहीं सकती है. गॉड इज विद द अंडरडॉग एंड देयरफॉर वी एज व्यूअर्स हैव टू अपलॉड, हैव टू फील दैट ये तो भगवान का बंदा है, अब हमारी पूरी सिंपैथी इसके साथ है. आई थिंक दैट अंडरडॉग का पॉइंट, एंड ऑफ कोर्स ऋतिक रोशन नेल्ड इट, एंड द पब्लिक, द ट्रेड पीपल, आई थिंक हैड गॉन मैड लुकिंग एट द ट्रेलर उसमें, बिकॉज फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम वी गॉट टू नो हाउ ही इज एक्टिंग एज एन अंडर डेवलप्ड माइंड, यू नो. तो इतने पागल हो गई थी पब्लिक, इतनी पागल हो गई थी कि बस ही बस. एंड ऑफ कोर्स जब फिल्म लगी थी, दिस हैड बिकम द फेवरेट ऑफ द ऑडियंस. राकेश जी, इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन, आपके पास ओवरसीज राइट्स आपने अपने लिए रखे थे. बॉम्बे, दिल्ली, यूपी में तो ऑफ कोर्स पाला यूज्ड टू रिलीज योर फिल्म्स, बिहार एंड आंध्रा. एंड लेट मी टेल यू, every city, every cinema records were being created. Like उड़ीसा में कुछ 22 साल पुराना सिनेमा था, ऐसे कलेक्शंस 22 साल में नहीं देखे थे. और कुछ सिनेमास थे जैसे विशाखापट्टनम में 2 weeks 100% कलेक्शंस, कोई फिल्म के नहीं थे. एंड देन वी वेंट बैक इन हिस्ट्री एंड वी चेक्ड, एक ही फिल्म ने ऐसे किया था और वो थी कहो ना प्यार है. सो कहो ना प्यार है के रिकॉर्ड्स कोई मिल गया ने तोड़े. उसके बाद ना उससे पहले ना उसके बाद.
But those were the golden era. I think we all miss those days in terms of how cinema was consumed. There was so much personal touch in everything. Like, I remember as a kid, I used to read those booklets which used to come before.
Yeah.
And there were so many goodies that came out. You know, sir, 20 years back when we talk of Koi Mil Gaya, there are so many trivias. Like, you know, there are goodies and this thing. Like Komal sir spoke about cinemas opening with Koi Mil Gaya. Is there anything that you guys can share which people don't know about Koi Mil Gaya? A trivia of sort.
I think I know something. Rakesh ji, if I'm not wrong, for the role which ultimately was played by you, आपकी इच्छा थी. चलिए, यहाँ तक बोल दिया, अब आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए.
नहीं, मैंने किसी अपने दोस्त को कहा था वो रोल करने के लिए, लेकिन वो ऐन मौके पे बीमार हो गए और सेट लगा हुआ था. तब क्या करें, तो रेखा बोली क्या सोच रहे हो. मैं बोला कि वो तो बीमार हो गया, अभी क्या करें. बोले तुम सामने बैठो, तुम क्यों नहीं करते हो. बोला बोले या यू डू इट. मैंने तुम रिफ्यूज़ करी कि मेरे साथ काम करने के लिए. बोलते नहीं, मैं ही कह रही हूँ तुम्हें काम करने के लिए, तुम करो. और फिर मैंने वो रोल किया.
And Hrithik sir, for you, anything that...
I think around when I was 21 years old, I had gone to the orthodontist. And
Rubbish, but it's 20 years old. You're 23 today.
Thank you. So yeah, I went to the orthodontist, and he saw that there was a problem with my teeth, so he gave me these plates, to wear to take my lower set of teeth back, and I wore them, and they went back, and I was supposed to wear them, through, like for a long time. I might be getting my years wrong, but then I stopped wearing it, and it came back out. So I went back to him. He said, you have to wear it again. Now this time wear it for a longer time. तो ये मुझे याद था कि when I don't wear that, the teeth come back out. For कोई मिल गया, I stopped wearing that. I said, थोड़े बाहर आएंगे ना, अच्छा लगेगा. For Rohit. So एक तो that, I stopped wearing that. दो बातें थी, एक भूल गया मैं, एक second. I used the help of Mr. Anil Kapoor to convince Dad जब वो उस मुकाम पे जब हम पहुंचे थे, जब पापा वाज लिटिल thinking that whether we should make it or not. I don't know if you remember, but Anil Kapoor, Anil uncle was at home, or I had met him somewhere. He had a chat with Papa, and he and I were discussing. I said, you know, Anil uncle, please tell Papa we must do it and we must do it. And then I think he spoke to him, and finally he got convinced that yes, okay, chalo, let's do it. So that is another piece of trivia, I guess. There was a third also, but it'll come back. Let's go on.
I believe the film had two endings also. You were contemplating on two endings, and then you decided the current one.
Yeah. The one ending was that Jadoo goes away and his power goes away. What power he had, and he becomes again the same character. So I shot that, and then I was not very confident कि यार ये लोगों को अच्छा ना लगे शायद, क्योंकि मैं ज़ीरो से हीरो बना रहा हूँ, फिर उसको ही वापस ज़ीरो कर रहा हूँ. So then we shot the other ending also, that he has given him powers and gone, which he realizes later on. But then I showed the film to many filmmakers at that time, and some people liked one ending, some people liked the other ending. It was Aditya Chopra when he saw the film. Yash ji was for the ending that he has taken the powers and gone. And Adi had the conviction, no, the powers has come to him, he should keep this end only. So they were debating, and I was listening to the debate in my editing room. And he said, नहीं पापा ये end ठीक है, यही बहुत अच्छा है and यही कामयाब होगा. So then that way, many people, when this, I saw that 70% of people are saying, this ending is better, I kept that ending.
Adi was right. I prefer this ending a lot more. Yeah.
Adi is always right.
अच्छा, पुराने वक्त में हमारे ज़माने में मैं कभी पिक्चर छुपाता नहीं था. मैं कोई एल्बम तो बना नहीं रहा हूँ, मैं पिक्चर बना रहा हूँ ऑडियंस के लिए, तो मैं पिक्चर सबको दिखाता हूँ. 100 आदमी, 200 आदमी, 300 आदमी, लास्ट पिक्चर तक, काबिल तक. आई शो पिक्चर्स टू एवरीबडी एंड आई टेक देयर ओपिनियन. एंड व्हेन आई सी केस 90% of the people are saying something is wrong, I have to correct it. पर आजकल लोग छुपाते हैं, दिखाते नहीं है किसी को.
क्यों ऐसा क्यों होता है राकेश जी? क्यों आजकल क्या बदल गया है? Why have they got into this thing of
मुझे लगता है उनमें खुद में कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है.
Very sad.
आप अगर खुद कॉन्फिडेंट हो कि आप अपने आप को ठीक कर सकते हैं तो आप ज़रूर बताएंगे. अपने आप में कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है. हम फिल्म सिटी में शूटिंग कर रहे हैं, तो वहाँ पे फिल्म सिटी में एक हिल जैसा है, तो वहाँ पे हमारा सेट लगा हुआ था. नीचे अनिल शर्मा शूटिंग कर रहा था गदर की. गदर या कोई पिक्चर की थी, बहुत बड़ा सेट लगाया था उसमें लेक के बीच में. तो वो आए मेरे पास कि राकेश जी, बहुत आजकल कैमरामैन बहुत टाइम लगाते हैं, आप देखिए मैंने एक शॉट लगाया है, वो तो 3 घंटे लग जाएंगे. और मैं उस वक्त शॉट ले रहा था जादू और ऋतिक का. उस शॉट में मुझे 5 घंटे लग गए. तो मैं उसको देखता था और मैं शॉट देख रहा था, सुन रहा था, शॉट देख रहा था. वो समझ गया, बोलता राकेश जी मुझे माफ़ करिए, आप में जो पेशेंस है मुझ में नहीं. बिकॉज इट वॉज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू शूट विद द एनिमेट्रॉनिक जादू व्हाट वी मेड, बिकॉज हिज आईज हैड टू मैच विद ऋतिक्स मैच व्हेन ही शुड लुक अप. तो वो बाहर से आप वो करते हैं तो वो कभी आई उधर से चले जाए, कभी उधर चले जाए, तो इट वॉज वेरी डिफिकल्ट.
But sir, if you were to make Koi Mil Gaya today, how differently would you approach the subject?
Today it would be very easy. Because I know what I made.
I think one thing is playing on my mind. I want to say that I think the genius of Koi Mil Gaya is something that is very, very interesting. This thought that I've always had, that many people would like to, make a film with something that's fantastical, like an alien or whatever. But the genius of Koi Mil Gaya is that the way Papa scripted the character of Rohit, created an atmosphere of such desperate wanting and seeding that want in the audience's hearts and minds, where the audience wanted Rohit to have a victory. Wanted it. I wanted him to be vindicated. Wanted to see him joyful, happy. You know, we wanted that relief, and that was created so beautifully that if you ask me, अगर जादू एक cardboard box भी होता ना, the film would have worked. If Jadoo had come like a cardboard box with no expressions, but given that relief to Rohit, the film would have still worked. So the script needs to warrant the fantastic that you want to bring into it. You know, so the writing process is where the magic really is. And this is something that, you know, as filmmakers, as film students, we must remember that we need to create the need first. If the need is right, if the need is correct, then whatever you bring in, half your battle is won.
It is like Karan Arjun, where the mother says कि मेरे Karan Arjun आएंगे वो कहीं से भी आते हैं लोग बिलीव करते हैं.
इट्स बिकॉज आई थिंक हम देखते हैं फिल्में आंखों से, लेकिन वही फिल्में हिट होती है जो हम दिल से देखते हैं, जो दिल तक पहुंचती है. एंड दैट इज वाई द पावर ऑफ द स्क्रिप्ट. आई थिंक द स्क्रिप्ट डज इट ऑल. फॉर्म एटसेट्रा आर ऑल सेकेंडरी. इफ द बेसिक स्क्रिप्ट इज फैंटास्टिक, 10 गलतियां आप एज एन ऑडियंस, हम एज एन ऑडियंस 10 गलतियां माफ कर देते हैं, लेकिन स्क्रिप्ट गलत है और टेक्निकल फिनेस वगैरह एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी है, तो हम कोई मार्क्स नहीं देते हैं. It is all the script and how much it connects with your heart.
The emotions.
और अक्सर आप देखेंगे कि पहले 15 मिनट में अगर आपने ऑडियंस को ग्रैब नहीं किया पिक्चर ने, वो पिक्चर का चलना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. इट इज़ द फर्स्ट 15 मिनट्स ऑफ द फिल्म द ऑडियंस हैज़ टू बी इन द फिल्म. दैट इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
Absolutely. Basically, if you can't hold attention in the audience would lose their interest, and then kuch bhi ho nahi. You know, Rakesh sir, one thing which I have noticed in Koi Mil Gaya is, you know, across the globe we have seen films which have aliens as the villain. They are either attacking the world or something or the else. And there came a Koi Mil Gaya where our alien is Jadoo, who is this cute, innocent alien. Was there ever a draft where you actually made?
No. See, when I wanted to make Jadoo physically, so I went to Australia because there were creators over there. So I met one person who was a very well-known person in Hollywood, and he took me to his godown, our big garage, you know, and he had numbers of creatures which I saw in Hollywood films. And I said, thank God he will be able to make what I'm thinking of. Yeah. But then he didn't want to hear the story, nothing. He said, come, we will listen down, we do the terms. And I said, but you don't have the concept. What concept? You don't have that what kind of Jadoo I want and what kind of a creature I want. I want the alien to look how. Well, no, that we'll see later on. तो मेरा मन वहीं उतर गया, मैं इससे नहीं बनाऊंगा, मैं इसमें हार्ट ही नहीं है इस आदमी में, ये क्रोकोडाइल बना सकता है. तो फिर मैं आई वेंट टू सम अदर पर्सन. देयर वाज अ कपल, his name was James and Lara. There was a couple, and they did a lot of work also, and I saw the work, and I said that I'm making a film on an alien, and my alien should be very small because it should relate to the children, and his eyes should be very sympathetic, you know, it should be very lively, and you know.
James Colmer and Lara
Denman, yes.
And so, along with them were Mark Colby and Craig Moma.
That was a special effects,
yes.
VFX. Yes. So Lara told me I would like to hear the script because the way you are designing this Jadoo, can you narrate us the script? And you won't believe, when I narrated the script for 2 hours, that girl Lala couldn't stop crying. And then I thought they will do the justice to the. And next morning they called me at 10 o'clock. Please come, we have made some designs. And the very first page I saw, Pillai said, "This is my Jadoo."
Wow.
They designed it on paper with the coloring and of the costume and everything. And they said, "We'll make this."
Oh, that's also an incredible skill, huh? To pick the right people to be your teammates.
Yes.
Huh? To pick the right minds, the right hearts who are going to collaborate with you. कितना important skill है
Very,
वो?
very important.
Because you have to live the film with them for, I think, at least 2
Because
years.
This
But
James
they should
and
feel the film also.
Yeah.
James and Lara were small time people. They were not,
Big names.
big shots,
Big
big
stars.
names who had done all these creatures and all. They had done nothing. And Papa went with them. So picking the right heart and mind is extremely important.
But sir, when we talk of Jadoo, I don't know, I mean, I noticed it very recently that he has an extra thumb.
Yeah.
ये मेरा आइडिया था ये मेरा आइडिया था कि पापा लेट्स वो एक कनेक्शन के लिए इमीडिएट इफ ही हैज गॉट 2 thumbs that look like mine, I will look at that, he will look at mine, and we look at each other and say same to same. लेकिन हुआ ये कि when they made the hand, it wasn't so clear कि it was actually a double thumb. There we went a little bit not wrong, but it wasn't as clear.
They made it very subtle.
They made it very, very subtle. और बहुत late हो गया था. We were on the set and we saw the hand. I said, यार double thumb ये तो नहीं दिख नहीं रहा ऐसा. But then we went with it.
So Himesh, you need to pat your back. You caught it.
You got it.
So
I
what
got-
after
this
20
question
years?
This question has never risen.
It's a very detailed question. you
After
put.
20 years, be sahi,
Yeah.
but you caught it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is for Himesh.
And of course, the other little क्या बोलते हैं anecdote that you wanted, and I think this people know, is that I used the same glasses that Raj used in Kaho Mil Gaya for Rohit, and I don't know what that means, but there is something to see there, that it is how you use a device. You can use it for that and you can use it for this. Yeah.
But Hrithik, are you superstitious about carrying the good luck of one film to the other film? And Rakesh ji, you also.
Yeah, I'm carrying my head every.
So I'm very close. I'm very close. Hrithik, are you?
I am not superstitious. When I start to get superstitious, I feel like I am getting lazy. If I'm superstitious, then some part of me is giving up the steering wheel to some power, to chance or something. So I quickly take it back. Said, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, करूँगा मैं.
मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी.
मेहनत करनी है, बस करते जाओ. So no, I get superstitious for like 30 seconds and I catch myself. Nah, bhaiya, nah, don't go there.
Really, sir?
But I did get very, very sad at the end of Koi Mil Gaya. I got very, very sad when my last day of shoot as Rohit. I was very, very sad. I felt like I had relived my childhood, and there was a part of me that I brought out, the part that we all hide. We all want a tough exterior, the sexy exterior, the more attractive one. We think it's more attractive, but that's crap. But yeah, that side of me, which was the playful side, the side that was not afraid of being innocent and vulnerable and didn't know things and wanted to learn and still had not just the vulnerability, had dignity, So when he got hit by the basketball, he didn't get scared. He didn't get frazzled by it. He said, "No, I'll do again. मैं करूँगा. आजा. He wanted to do it. So I think that vulnerability with strength is that's the power that we all have in us. You know, keep the vulnerability. Know that you have that pain and whatever you have gone through in your life, we all have it. That is a very important part. That part combined with strength. Nothing, you're unstoppable then. So yeah, at the last day I was letting go of that part and I knew I had to be the sexy hero again.
But Rakesh ji, would it be right to say that amongst all the films, this must have been an emotion rather than just a film?
Emotions and even while making it was a very difficult film to make because it was a new concept and
Completely new.
Completely new. So Indian film में से कोई reference था ही नहीं. So it needed a lot of pre-production work and before shooting also. The night I couldn't sleep. वो scene कल कैसा होगा? You know, preparing myself. So it took a lot of me in the film.
And no cancellations of any shoot of any kind.
Acha.
I remember one story, it just came to me. I landed up on set. This was in Film City, I think. That was where we had put the setup of the town. I landed up on set and I had come prepared for the wrong scene. And we had to do the scene in which Rekha slaps me. Where I cry and say that, you know, why am I not normal? Why did God do this to me? And then she narrates the flashback. It was the most, the deepest, the most difficult scene in the whole film. And I had not prepared. I had prepared a wrong scene. Some miscommunication happened. And I remember I sat in I came in my car and just as I arrived, my van was there, and my car stopped, and I rolled the window down, and the assistant just handed over the scene to me while I was in my car. And I said, "Arey, nahi, ye wrong scene hai." So he said, "Nahi, sir, yehi scene hai aaj ka." He said, "No, we're not doing this scene, we're doing this scene." So he said, "No, we're doing this scene." Something happened. I said, "Have I made a mistake or something?" Then I had checked, and we were actually doing a different scene.
So he went to his mother and said, ये मेरे साथ ही ऐसा क्यों होता है? मैं wrong scene क्यों prepare करके आ जाता हूँ?
I wish it was not that easy. I became numb. And when I say numb,
Obviously, because it was
I
such a
really
difficult-
mean numb. I sat in that car in that position for 45 minutes. I did not move a finger. Something just scared the hell out of me. I don't know what that feeling was. But I just stayed there for 45 minutes trying to find a way for me to be able to move on and do the scene. 45 minutes I waited because I knew Papa is not going to cancel. He's a practical filmmaker. He's not going to wait for the leaf to fall. Ah, beautiful fall. Ah. Nahi, gira na leaf, ho gaya, next. So I knew this is not a possibility. And I knew I have to bring myself to the point where I can start doing this scene. So 45 minutes I stayed in that car, and then slowly I got off, and that decision was a huge one. That I need to find a way to do this. And I got off the car and I went to the van. And so I had a process. I had a song. I had a perfume and I had a song. I sprayed the perfume on, which was Rohit's perfume. And I had a song. It was Forever Young by Alphaville, which I used to play. And then I used to do like a little walk around. This makes no sense. It's a little mad. But I mean, some of you are students, so I thought I'd like to share this. So play the song and I used to walk. It's just in circles. क्या कर रहा है? कुछ नहीं कर रहा है. Walk कर रहा है बस. Just walking. And slowly, as I used to walk, by this time I've heard the song 3-4 times. Slowly, my finger used to go into that, and I used to find the posture of Rohit, and then I used to feel like him, and then I used to pick up the scene. Then I picked up the scene. Now Dad is waiting. This reminds me of another time where in Kaho Mil Gaya, I made him wait for the first song that we shot where I had to dance. And I didn't come for the shot until I got the step. He's waiting, sun is going, मेरा बेटा पागल हो गया है, क्या हो रहा है? All of that was going on. But from that memory, I remember after I'd rehearsed that scene, after making him wait for 1 hour, when I came, we got the shot in one take. So, वो मुझे याद था, and I said, I'm going to take my time. Sometimes you have to do what is necessary, you know. Not for yourself, but for eventuality, for the greater good. Like, if I am good, then the film will be good, then the film will run, my dad will be happy eventually. So let him wait.
And you know, I'll just add to what Hrithik said. He said, Dad was not now shooting करनी है मतलब करनी है, कोई cancel नहीं. It was a time, Rakesh ji, when, as I said in the beginning, films were not bought by one distributor. They were bought by different distributors, and shooting schedule होता था. मतलब distributor से पैसे आएंगे तो shooting होगी. You know, they used to pay part of the amount for every shooting schedule. You know, अगर 1 करोड़ में बिकी है तो 10 लाख एक शेड्यूल में आ जाएगा, 5 लाख अगले शेड्यूल में आ जाएगा. So obviously producers had to be, producers and filmmakers had to be very, very economical. They couldn't be wasting money. आज के टाइम की बात नहीं है जहाँ पर funds are the least of a problem. At that time funds used to be actually very scarce and very, very difficult to arrange for.
And the scene what Hrithik is talking about, that he with the mother, that was the most crucial scene of the film.
Yeah.
And I did my homework so well for that scene. And that was the scene, because that's the scene where Jadoo realizes that I have to help him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's watching from the
Outside,
basket. Yeah. I'm so glad Rekha slapped me in real in that scene. थप करके सारे emotions आ गए मुझे. Like really slapped me. Like went for it.
But everybody, Rekha, then Priti Zinta, then all the 4 children, and my brother Rajesh Roshan for music, the photography of the film. We didn't do any DI for the film. Everybody contributed very well in the film. It was just like a picnic, you know.
A team effort, basically.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we speak of Koi Mil Gaya, one character which has lived through the years is Jadoo. 20 years, and you know, when the film ended, we all felt sad that Jadoo has gone back. And Hrithik sir recently posted a video where, I think for Veda, where you said you have a way to part ways with the character. Was it difficult for both of you to part ways with Jadoo back in the day?
On the contrary, I was relieved. एक मुसीबत गई. Because it used to be so tough shooting, you cannot even imagine. Because he has to turn, he has to look at you, his eyes has to match with you.
Yeah.
You know, then he's saying something, he has to turn and eyes has to match.
Yeah.
So it used to take me 3, 4 hours for one shot. And sometimes in one take we have to get it.
The biggest challenge would be to shoot with Jadoo.
Well, this day and age, it'll be easy, you know, because you don't need animatronics now. You just need good graphics, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, much easier now.
So 3 years after Koi Mil Gaya came Krrish. You know, this is something which no one could have thought of. A sci-fi film turning into a superhero film. How did that idea come your way? And Hrithik, how did you react when Rakesh ji said he wants to make a superhero film?
I don't know how it came, but I'd like to just quickly tell you when it came. I remember this very clearly. So after Koi Mil Gaya, Papa had some, I think, 7, 8 ideas that we discussed, and nothing was like feeling right. So no, I kept saying, no, Papa, let's think something else. We'll think of something else. तो इसमें 1, 2, 3 महीने गुजर गए थे, और एक दिन सुबह I was in my room, and Papa used to get all his ideas in the shower, and he used to come out in his bath towel with a towel wrapped, and he used to hurriedly come to my room. Idea aaya. This time the idea was, okay, what if the powers that Jadoo gave Rohit goes into Rohit's son, and we see the growing of this boy in the mountains who can achieve feats that is humanly impossible. Something like that. And I was like, this is it! We've got it!
What happened was, that night I started seeing Lord of the Rings. Part 1, and then it was so interesting, then I saw part 2 that night. couldn't sleep. Then I saw part 3. Till morning 6 o'clock I was watching that film. I was thinking that why can't we make such films? Which one film leads to another film, the same story moving ahead. Then it struck me that when we have given, people have believed that Jadoo is Jadoo and Jadoo has given powers to Rohit. So this will become a very believable story that his son has got the powers. So let me make a superhero film. So that's how the idea came. And then I discussed with Hrithik, and that's how we moved forward. Because then we had a foundation. क्या है हमारी पिक्चरों में सारे सुपर हीरो हैं. हर पिक्चर में लोग हेलीकॉप्टर से जंप मारते हैं. खाली उनके कपड़े नहीं होते. वो like a Superman or like Krrish, like Spider-Man. पर every hero is jumping, every. पर हमने कहा कि नहीं इसको स्पेसिफिक करते हैं. तो हमने फिर Krrish.
That was the first successful superhero film, if we can say, over here. I think the birth of superhero genre.
Birth of superhero films, yes. So Hollywood's Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Hrithik's.
And by the way, Krrish title was given by Hrithik.
Oh wow!
I was naming it something else. He said, no, we are making a superhero film. Let's give one name to the character. And that should be the title so that if we have to move forward, it will become a...
And Hrithik, what prompted you to think of
Krrish?
Krrish? K, I know, K is the best alphabet.
Yeah.
After that.
No, so if we were going for a symbolic superhero, he had to have a name that would, be quick on the tongue. And it would sound a little bit fantastical. And Krishna is where Krish comes from. And the way we constructed like how the name lands in the film is that the mother takes a promise from Krishna that you will not reveal your identity to anyone. Now in the circus, when he sees people are in danger, he hides his identity by picking up a clown's mask. That is Krish's mask. It's a clown's mask.
See, right in the beginning of the conversation, Hrithik said, Koi Mil Gaya was unmasking. And finally it landed in giving him a mask for eternity.
And so he wears that clown's mask and goes and he saves people. And then when he's saving this little boy, to be able to connect with him and make him feel safe to come out, he introduces himself to him. And he's about to say, I am Krishna, but he remembers the mother's promise and he stops at Krish. I am Krish. And he does not continue. So the kid tells everybody his name was Krish.
Wow.
And that's how it...
But sir, when you're playing a superhero, are there any added responsibilities on you? Because superhero is a role model for kids. It's an idealistic character. So are there any added responsibilities on you while playing that?
So I think superheroes, the DNA of a superhero really is two extremes. Two extremes for me. The two extremes are hopelessness, and we all have experienced that in some form and some degree of hopelessness. So it's a combination of extreme hopelessness and extreme hope. So it's hopelessness of the vulnerable side is the hopelessness, and the strength is the hope that So when the audience sees a superhero, he connects the part of him that is the vulnerable side, that this is me. And then when he sees him doing fantastic things, that's the hope. So if he can do it, then I can do it. So the identification needs to be really strong, which means that emotional connect is very important. But the hope of that strength is just as important. So when you are looking strong like a superhero, you have to be able to embody it. So you have to have all the virtues of courage, of strength, of bravery. If you don't have it, if you've not built it, then it's very hard to just act it out. So the shape of your body, for instance, you might say, why is that so important? But it is important because in the evolution of man, strength has a form. And if you're saying I'm going to be a superhero, you better have that form. So I think that's the combination, and that's the responsibility that I have.
It's also the body language. That's very, very important. See, when I used to do those shots where he's flying from one building to another building, so we had a crane, and where he used to be hanged. And so when the stunt guy used to do his part, it used to look artificial. Who are very well trained from China, Tony Ching's assistant, who have been doing this for the last 20 years. When he used to do, I used to say, what is he doing here? He's looking so fake. But when he used to do, he used to look real. So that is the body language.
Unfortunately, I had to do all those shots. I had watched the Olympic long jumpers, and I simulated that as Krrish's flight. The Olympic long jumpers, the way the hands move, and the way the legs move, the way the takeoff is, I learned that. And that's what I applied to do his jumps. Yeah.
Krrish or Koi Mil Gaya, which was a bigger challenge for you to pull it off? Because both films are genre defining.
Yeah, both were different. Even Kaho Na Pyaar was very difficult for me, because I'm showing a boy who's very vulnerable. First shot of him in the morning is that he gets up on the chadar, hair is not made, not jumping from a building, or on a motorcycle, or on a horseback. Very simple. So it was a very difficult film. Actually, if you go to see every film of mine, it's very difficult for me. Because I take subjects which gives me sleepless nights. See, if I made Khudgars with two friends, I didn't repeat the same story with my next film. I made completely opposite film called Khon Bari Maan, with a heroine-oriented film. After that, there also people told me that the picture will not do well. I said, why? Well, yeah, the wife kills the husband. हम लोग के यहाँ ऐसा होता नहीं है. अरे बट बोले husband wrong है तो क्यों नहीं मारेगा उसको? So people have got some set norms in the mind, And then I met Krishna Kanhaiya. Then I met reincarnation Kalan Arjun. Then Kaho Na Pyaar hai, and Koila, and then Krrish. So every film is, I take a subject which gives me sleepless nights, and which I want to make it a fantasy film into a believable film.
Yeah.
So every film is a test for me also.
And a challenge.
And a challenge also.
Komal sir, I'm sure, when we go on social media, people keep asking us, how do you view the positioning of Krrish franchisee? It is the longest running franchisee of India, I think 2003 and now. How do you view the positioning of Krrish franchisee today and the demand for the next part? Everyone keeps asking.
Everyone keeps asking, so you've answered the question. The demand is immense. And, I'll tell you, any other filmmaker would have lost no time. By now, it would have been Krrish 5 and Krrish 6. But knowing Rakesh ji and knowing how conscientious a filmmaker is, I think he will not start the next Krrish till he's 100% sure about his own script, about what the public expects out of Krrish now. He and Hrithik, they both are very, very particular about, they will not jump into anything just for the sake of it or just to capitalize on that franchise. I think that is what is...
You're absolutely right, Komal. I fully agree with you. Till I am not satisfied from inside, yes, this is what we are making it. We have got the script ready. The script is almost ready. But we keep on improvising on it, Still, I feel there is something left, something more requires. Because, see, we can't make that kind of a budget film, what they make. We don't have just such big budgets. But our content has to be very, very strong. Our content has to be very, very new in this world of superheroes. So we have got a good story now, a good content. Now we are just retouching it here and there, and then...
Till the box office is ready to deliver a blockbuster 600 crore, 700 crore, 800 crore. That is what he's actually waiting for. The box office has to grow that much.
But hopefully soon we'll get an update. Basically, since the script is ready, and like you said, you have got the basic right, and now it's just about getting the small...
Yes, I'm just waiting for the audience to come to the theatres now.
I think for
That's
Krrish,
the biggest
everyone would
challenge.
come. But Hrithik sir, I remember in 2019 when we spoke, you opened up about taking Krrish global. According to you, how do you plan to it has been 10 years to Krrish as well. Would it be a challenge to reintroduce the character to the Gen Z audience, who have grown over the years?
Probably, but the time gap between Koi Mil Gaya and Krrish was, I think, also 6-7 years, wasn't it?
Koi Mil Gaya and Krrish was
Koi
3,
Mil-
Krrish
Koi Mil
and the
Gaya-
next Krrish was 7 years.
Koi Mil Gaya and Krrish was how many years?
3 years.
3 years, and then Krrish to Krrish 3 was
7.
7 years. So we've already experienced catering to a different generation.
Yeah.
But I will not bother about this because if your script is good
Yeah.
and if you catch the audience in the first 15 minutes,
Yeah.
that will do the magic. And this script has that it will catch the audience in the first 15 minutes.
Komal sir was saying the temptations of franchisee. How do the two of you control that temptation कि यार इतने लोग हैं, there are so many people who want Krrish. We have to hold back till we get it right. वो pressure, are you pressured by the industry because
Not pressured.
I think
I don't think Dad is driven by the glory.
I'll tell
The
you.
glory doesn't drive him.
It's embarrassing for him to answer, but knowing them very closely, I think it is that strive for perfection. They both are so particular about getting it 100% right, and it is such a big franchise. It is such a big responsibility on their shoulders. Till they are not sure that it's going to break all box office records, I think they will not start it. And for that, it's their script, which may be ready. Now it is for the box office to be ready. Genuinely, I'm telling you, not because they're in front of me. I think they must have written such a fantastic script. It's just whether the box office is ready for that fantastical script. I think they're waiting for that opportune time.
Yeah, that's very correct because we are, when you talk about Krrish 4, it's not just you don't have the freedom to write whatever you want because you've got to navigate the budget, and that is a very big driving force in the kind of scenes we choose, in the amount of action that we want in the film. So it's a difficult one. Yeah.
there's one question which I think everyone in this auditorium would want to ask. It has been 20 years of Jadoo. Will Jadoo be back?
I've emailed him. I'm waiting for his reply.
I hope he replies and he gets back. Before we wrap up, just one thing. This is a question for both of you. It is not Koi Mil Gaya related, but Rakesh sir, for you, what are the similarities and differences of Hrithik Roshan, the actor, and Hrithik Roshan, the son? And Hrithik sir, for you, what is the difference between Rakesh Roshan, the director, and Rakesh Roshan, the father?
As in, son is very obedient. But as an actor, he's very stubborn.
As an actor, what he is?
He's very stubborn. For me, 98%, 95% of the shot is always okay. But he wants 110%. So that becomes very difficult. So that stubbornness is always there in him, but that's for the good.
Yes.
But as a son, he is very obedient.
Yeah, that reminds me of Kaho Na Pyaar Hai when I was underwater. And while I was underwater, Dad was watching the screen. And I kept going, swimming towards the camera, the lens that he could see underwater. One more. And my dad, I saw it in the making. Like, वहाँ से underwater भी वहाँ से मुझे पूछ रहा है one more. Oh yeah. What's the difference? There are so many roles. My dad plays so many roles, and he plays them all quite amazingly. As a director, he is unlimited. He's free in his mind. As a producer, he controls the director, because he's both. He has to be both. It's very, very difficult. It's very easy when you have the freedom to be a director. But when you're also the producer, I have seen my father at the end of a really hard day sitting with his accountant in weird places where he used to shoot. Rajasthan in the desert, and everyone's gone to sleep. We've woken up at 5 o'clock, he wakes up at 4 o'clock, now it's 10 o'clock. I'm the assistant, so I'm still like, I'm dead and I'm just like hanging around, you know, like a skeleton. And my dad is sitting on the accounts, ke, ye 20 rupees kahan, kyun, why 20 rupees? Why 100 here? How many people come with the camera? Why do we need so many? Every day to do that after the director's work is done, to come back and to have that rough book. There was a rough book, and he used to sit with that as a producer. So the director's job started at 4 a.m. till 9 p.m. And then as a producer, he used to sit from 9 p.m. to sometimes 12 in the night, do all the finances and the accounts just to make sure that he is secure and safe. So I've seen him go through all of that. So yeah, director, producer. And as a father, I think he did the best thing ever. He only ever taught by example. Never said, do this, do that, do this, do that, don't do that. He just, whatever he wanted me to do, he showed. He did it himself. I watched and I learned.
I think that's the perfect note to end this.
He never told me work hard. Never ever said work hard, work hard, work hard. Never. I just saw him working hard. I said, oh my God, that's what I have to do. That's how hard I have to work. Okay. That's when it goes in. बोलने से कुछ नहीं होता है. करके दिखाओ.
And on that note, thank you so much, everyone over here, for this event. And
Thank you all. Thank you all. It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you guys. Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful experience reliving Koi Mil Gaya and the love for it. Thank you. Thank you so much.